Well, good evening, everyone. Michael, soothing here. I have to switch to whisper because Joanne is my guest.
scorpioAnnYT.
scorpioAnnYT, if I can remember. I will write it on the screen below so you know her channel. And anyway, she's going to be my guest because you guys requested more. And she's going to tell me about her trip to the Philippines and back. And she wants to do it in whisper because that's how she does most of her videos. Plus, you guys have requested whisper video too on my channel. So I'm going to kind of interview her and let her do most of the talking today. Alright, so first of all,
Ask me, babe.
I will ask the interview questions, and I want her to get as long and detailed as possible to tell you all about what it's like to travel there and what it's like in the Philippines. So first of all, you left in what, September?
I left on September, I don't remember, babe, 9
Yeah.
or 8.
I'm gonna have to move the microphone up closer to her because she's whispering so quiet.
September 8, I think, or 9.
8 or 9,
Yes.
somewhere in there.
Yes.
Anyway, so how long did it take you to get there?
I guess 2 weeks.
No. How long did you? What was the first step?
You know why I'm saying 2 weeks? Because it took me 1 day to fly to the Philippines, to Manila, and then they did a swab test, COVID test on me, but on both nostrils and the throat.
Did they do that before you even got out of the airport, right?
Yes, we had to wait like 1 hour first, and then it was warm even though the aircon was on. So she did that to me, and the guys were coughing and irritated and almost crying. But she said the women are not complaining, just the guys. So we did that, and every one of us needed to go to a designated hotel that we chose before flying. So after 8 hours we got the result, and of course I was negative in the hotel.
So did you have to wait before you went to the hotel for your result?
Yes, I mean after the test, then
Yeah.
we were allowed to go to the hotel with their taxi.
It was a special quarantine hotel, correct?
Yes. It's you can't go to another hotel that is not approved by the government. So I went to my hotel, waited in the hotel, and after 8 hours it came. And I wanted to go directly to Surigao, but there was no flight, so I had to wait 1 night, and it was expensive. Like, that hotel for me, for us, $100 per night. Remember, babe?
Did they give you food?
Yes, but you had to pay that like extra.
Okay, so then once you got your quarantine result and you could travel in the Philippines, where did you go next?
And then I flew from the hotel to Butuan because it was so complicated to do Cebu, and they weren't even allowing it, remember? So we went to Butuan, and it was so chaotic. Like, oh, where will you go? Do you have a permit? And it was just, and I said, luckily, oh no, I have a van waiting for me. So they didn't need to quarantine me in Butuan also. If I said the wrong thing, babe,
Yes.
they would quarantine me there before going to Surigao, to my final destination.
She had to quarantine twice, but it
Twice.
could have been 3 times. She had to quarantine for like 2 weeks once she got to her final destination.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Okay,
It took
so
the
So now you're in Butuan and trying to go through that bureaucracy there. And because she's kind of a special princess, okay, we arranged a special van to take her from there in Butuan to Surigao.
And because my uncle is a lawyer, and the driver knew my uncle when we were passing through the military checkpoint, it was shorter than 5 minutes, while others would even won't be let in the checkpoint. So I used my family's name.
She used her connections.
So yeah, that's why I was able to do it. The driver said he had to like go back because it was almost in Surigao where I should be with a ferry, and he said he had done it a few times because they said the wrong thing.
That background noise is just the heater kicking on and off.
Yeah.
So don't pay attention. So now you're in Butuan, and you took your long drive, several hours from there?
2.5 hours.
To Surigao?
Yeah. I was a bit afraid because I'm not used to driving anymore, but it was, as you saw, babe, the nature was so pretty while we were driving in the van, and I was alone with the driver.
She took video clips. Wait, didn't you have a funny story about that driver?
Yes, I'm not sure if you're thinking of the same thing, but he was friends with people who were quarantining in a school, and they weren't wearing masks, and I thought that's so weird. They were being in quarantine in a school, but no one was checking them.
Wasn't the driver skipping the rules?
Oh yes, he was supposed to use a hazmat suit, but even though we had aircon in the van, he felt so suffocated, So he said, "Is it okay, ma'am, if I don't use it?" I said, "It's okay." I wasn't wearing my face shield. I removed it because it's so warm.
They're even more anal in the Philippines about this COVID restriction business than here in the States. So then, after your long drive to Surigao, then you had to take a long ferry boat ride, correct?
But before that, I have to say that from the airport here, we had to wear both mask and face shield because it's Philippine Airlines.
Yeah.
In the Philippines, when you're in an airport, a big mall, you have to have both. It's so suffocating, even though it's cold.
And there's cops everywhere enforcing the
military.
face shield, face mask
With rifle,
rules.
shotgun, not just normal gun, shotgun.
And they say, and she's kind of a rebel, she doesn't like to wear it, so
I only like the face shield, but they tell you to wear both.
every now and then they say, "Man, the face shield," right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, they would tell me wear the mask also, or if I remove the face shield and I only have the mask, they would tell me, and then I would tell them I can't breathe. But then I would have to because it's so strict in the Philippines.
But her name's not Karen, so she doesn't get into big arguments with them. So
No, I just say one word and then just so I can breathe. It's so hard to breathe.
Her name's Joanne, not Karen. Okay, so then you get to Surigao, and you have to take a long ferry ride to
2 hours. Is it 2 hours?
to
2 hours.
to Dapa.
To Dapa, yes.
Yeah. And then when you get to
You have to
Dapa,
wait.
then you had to take another long drive, right?
Yes.
To GL.
GL. And we had to ride in an ambulance.
She had to ride in a quarantine vehicle for people that are new arrivals to that island. GL.
It was for free,
Yeah.
provided by the hotel.
GL is an island called General Luna, and it's a very famous surfing resort.
Cloud 9.
Cloud 9, but it's awfully hard for people to go go there right now. So, and that's been the case for, so then the requirement is you can tell them once she gets to jail, tell them what you had to do then in her special quarantine vehicle. Then,
What?
well, you had to go into a 2-week quarantine,
Yeah, the 2-week quarantine.
in isolation by herself.
Totally. Like,
Total isolation.
we had the hotel was so nice. It was a resort, no beach, but garden. So you can see the beautiful garden, right? And you have a balcony. I was only allowed in the balcony, wasn't allowed to go on the grass, and also the other side, outside my door, I wasn't allowed to. I could open, but not allowed to go around, not allowed to walk. And
It was like
2
jail,
weeks,
basically.
it was jail.
Yeah.
But luckily the food was so yummy, but it made me crazy. After 1 week, I started crying. I thought I was like my neighbor. She had the same experience, and she had her boyfriend with her, and she was crying. But I was alone. And the Wi-Fi was crappy on that hotel, so I couldn't talk with Maria for some days. So she had to visit me. Loopholes. We weren't supposed to talk to each other.
But they didn't hardly let her even come in, right? It was just a little bit.
She was in the garden while
Yeah.
I was in the balcony. We weren't allowed to. We were allowed to hug each other, but that's another loophole. I think it's because the mayor is my aunt.
She was going nuts in isolation, so I hope she never has to go to jail and get put in a cell, because she was saying some crazy stuff and getting very, very angry and irritable. But I didn't mind because I understood this is not her natural state to be like in a straitjacket, unable to go outside, walk, or do anything.
It was just
No
not me.
exercise.
It was not just me, because the woman next to me is a big Instagrammer from England, and she had her boyfriend, and yet she went crazy too. Like she said, I don't know how I will continue, blah blah blah. And they were together. They were talking all the time, like non-stop, and yet she went like this.
But poor Joanne, the Wi-Fi was bad, so there was no real internet. There was nothing to do. No TV.
No TV, no phone.
Internet, no phone. We were able to talk some, and she could talk to Maria some. But the Wi-Fi was so bad it would cut out all the time, so it was frustrating. It's like you'd get in a sentence and then it would interrupt or disconnect, and
Yes.
so, so.
And also I asked, so I went in, and then I thought they locked me in the balcony, the sliding door. So I wasn't able to, I was panicking. So I haven't been talking with Maria after a while, like a few hours. And then I said, I couldn't breathe. I said, wait a minute, am I not allowed to go out the balcony either? So I went out, but not really out. I just called them. I said, hello. And then he said, oh no, you do like this. I thought I would get a heart attack because, oh my God.
She was drawing chalk marks on the wall for each day, like, okay, if I can just make it 4 more days, okay. And I mean, in her head,
It was.
she kept saying, oh, I've got to make it 3 more days. Maybe they'll let me out a half a day early. And I felt
They
bad.
let me one day.
1 day early, yeah.
But in total, because I was in the hotel in Manila, it's 14 days. 14.
So then finally you get out, yes, and you get to go to the family house where they have a kind of a business there.
Yes.
And is selling foods and
Popsicles.
popsicles and stuff. And so you go there where your sister's living, at mommy's house. But mommy doesn't live there. She lives in Denmark. Right?
Denmark, yeah.
So she gets to go there where Maria, her daughter Maria, and her sister live. And then you tried your hand at some business for a while, yeah?
It went well, but
Yeah.
something happened. I'm not going to say, but we just decided to move out of the house and live in an Airbnb. And I just realized, no, we can't do business, because if you live in an Airbnb, you have, kitchen, but you can't really make stuff there. I mean, the fridge was not so, it was big, but not enough for a business. So, and I was still not jet lag anymore. But then I thought, I don't think we would be able to do business. But
I felt a bit bad because she had all these plans for the business, so I bought them a tuk-tuk. Have you ever seen movies with India, like when James Bond...
Thailand also.
Yeah, James Bond goes to India, and those little three-wheel vehicles with those little engines in them that zip around, it has like a canopy on it. They call it a tuk-tuk.
It's fully packed. Fully packed.
So we got one of those for them to do their business, but...
And Maria learned.
And
Maria learned how to drive.
Maria learned how to drive it.
She's so good.
Driving in the Philippines is more of a challenge than driving even in Oregon, because no one follows any rules.
That's
okay?
the rule. No one follows the rule.
No one follows.
So you have to be an expert on, because there's still rules,
Yeah.
But it's another kind of rule, and there's so many driving.
The rules are, you just have to know that someone's going to stop in the middle of the road for no reason, or just come flying out of a side street without looking, and you have to just know to avoid all accidents.
This is how funny it can be.
Yeah.
Like in a four-way, what do you call it,
Yeah.
four-way. So Maria said, so whose turn is it? And I said, you're a girl and you're young, and the men will let you pass. And she said, and it was that one that was followed.
Yeah. So they had adventures with the tuk-tuk. Didn't you guys almost roll over
Yes,
sideways?
yes,
Yeah.
because they were fixing their road, and we missed that a little bit of crack. And you won't believe this, guys, but in the Philippines, people take care of you. The kids came right away after a few seconds. Like, I went out, I told Mary go out, she didn't want to, and then the kids straightened that tuk-tuk and pushed. I gave them money just for, like, as a thank you. But in the Philippines, you don't need to think, people will help you. And I will tell you a story. When I was in Butuan, I didn't have Wi-Fi, right? So I needed to talk with Maria. I asked one of the drivers, just walking, can I please borrow your phone? I said, yes. I borrowed his phone. I was able to contact Maria, and then I wanted to give him money, and he got my phone. He said, it's okay, thank you, and I ran away. That's what I miss and love about Filipinos. They are so kind, like so generous. Of course, there are some who are not, but the typical Filipino wants to help you because they're God-fearing people.
Yes.
And they're just warm.
It's a different mindset there. They all want to look out for each other and accept each other. So,
and the kids helped us, and
they're
that was
not
just
judgmental about social status or class or any of that.
no.
So then, once you were back at the house, then that didn't...
Thank you, Smoothie.
She wants me to drink this. She made a yummy smoothie, guys. See, it's got strawberry and banana. And did you put that PB?
Stevia. No.
Stevia to keep the sugar down.
And calories.
So it's healthy. We've been counting all of our nutrients and calories on a little app. Chronometer. You can plug everything in, but we'll talk about that on a different video. We'll bring her bucks now. So, all right. So then you and Maria moved to an Airbnb.
Oh, very nice.
They got really good deals, which made me happy because I was kind of footing the bill mostly. But
Yeah.
because no tourists can go there, the resorts and the Airbnbs are willing to
Cheaper.
negotiate a much lower
50%
than
pay.
lower than normal price. I think it was only what was it?
It was like 26,000 pesos instead of 45.
Yeah, and 26,000 pesos is 26,000 pesos per month.
Per month.
Okay, so that's only like $150 or something. So, a month, and so that's really cheap for a nice Airbnb. And
It's really nice. It's so close to this tourist spot, Cloud9.
Yeah.
If you're a surfer, you know this. It's like they say it's more beautiful than in Australia.
my math was wrong. That's like $500 a month, but for a resort, that's really cheap. That's only $125 a week.
Yes.
So
and
yeah.
I didn't want to correct you, babe.
Yeah.
But you walk like 5 to 10 minutes. You see the beach. There's a beach. I don't remember the name. And then you go to Cloud9, and it's so peaceful. It's so clean. Surigao, I love Surigao, and especially the Cloud9 area.
If you look up Cloud9, I'm going to remind myself to show you a picture or two clip by putting a breakpoint in here. Hold on. When I put a breakpoint, it reminds me I have something to insert.
You can show one of our pictures.
Yeah, because I have lots of little video clips of them there at Cloud9. They sent me on the phone, while they were there. So, yeah, it's a famous surfing resort.
Or you can cut video from Maria's vlogs.
Yeah, Maria did a lot of vlogs on her channel. Was it Raya?
Art and Beauty Freak.
Art and Beauty Freak is the name of her YouTube channel. She does some really good vlogs if you want to check that out. And she's got tons of vlogs from their time there over the last few months. If you were interested to see what it's like there and things like that. All right, so at the Airbnb, what kind of didn't you guys adopt a dog?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bep is a baby puppy.
Round. Bep is here to say hello. Hi, Bepster. Will you meet?
Bep came.
Yeah.
Bep is always by the house, and he has his house on the next another resort or some. No, not resort, but another big house there. He would come, and then we would give him food, and he would watch us. When someone would go drive or walk, then he would bark like crazy. He was so cute.
You have a lot of animal adventures in the Philippines because there's lots of strays, and now you guys had a litter of
Bep
kittens.
is not a stray.
Not a
Bep-
stray. He
no.
was not a stray.
Because this American, or was she American? She loves her dogs, so she hired maids to take care of the dogs while she was away. So Bep is one of them.
And didn't you try to take care of a litter of kittens back at the house before you left there? At the house in Gio, the family house? Yeah.
Oh yeah, the neighbors.
Maria was trying to take care of some kittens that were stray.
Oh yes. What's his name? Ivory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has videos about it on
I
her
told
phone.
her you can take care of that cat because even though I'm not a pet lover, when I see a stray cat, I can't not.
Don't believe her, guys. She says she's not a pet lover, but if she's around an animal,
Yeah, I can't.
then she loves it.
Then
So
I have to take care of them.
yeah, then her instinct kicks in, or maternal. All right, so at that resort, you guys could walk to the beach and stuff like that. Yes.
Airbnb.
Airbnb.
Or you
What-
mean romantic beach villa?
No, the first place.
every bit.
And what did you do for foods and stuff there?
We were able to go to the market to GL, and then go to the market, and there are like restaurants around. We could also go cheaper, but we cooked all our foods there.
And when she says the market and restaurants, don't picture the way it is in the States.
Wet market.
Because it's more like just vegetables and fruits and things.
No fast food.
There's no fast food. You can't buy a microwave meal, for example, to put in your micro. In fact, no one has a micro there, hardly, right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I haven't seen, but because this is an island, but we heard that McDonald's will open takeout thing in GL.
Oh, okay.
Just takeout, but it won't be every day because some of the days are for GL, some of the days for the pub. So 3 days a week you can do this because it's an island. It's a tourist island. It's not a city. So hardly no fast food. It's all homemade.
Yeah. And Maria, and I think you did this sometime, they were still working with the business a bit. They would go around from resort to sell the ice cream.
The events.
The
Yeah,
events.
they did that.
At the local resorts, they were selling foods. And so after about, how long were you there? 1 month?
1 month in the Airbnb.
Airbnb.
I didn't want to leave, but we had to because we would be able to live there 2 more months, but for me it was still expensive, so I said we have to find on our first day in the Airbnb. I told Maria we have to find a cheaper one, so that's why. And then 1 week before leaving, Maria was an accident prone, stepped on a nail while she was doing the bonfire.
And she had to get medical treatment.
Yeah, she had to get tetanus shot and take antibiotics for 2 weeks.
And part of the reason that Joanne went to the Philippines for an extended time is that Maria was having some health issues because she got, what was the thing she got?
I don't think she wants us to say,
Oh, okay.
but it's over now.
Anyway.
But her body she hasn't been well because she's been missing me, and she doesn't like GL because she's more into cities. She wants to be in malls. She doesn't like wet markets. She wants to be in a mall in Manila because she's used to it, or in Sweden and Denmark. So she said she has never missed GL, babe.
No?
No,
Oh,
I miss GL. I want to live, like here in coastal Oregon, we're so close to nature. When we go out, we see trees. When we drive, we see the mountains. That's what I want. I want to see the ocean, but Maria is a city girl. So.
Jesus wants to city, so so then you moved to a different resort because you got a romantic beach villa, and they got it for like 1/3 the normal price. It was only how many pesos?
20,000.
Around 20,000.
So $400.
So $400 a month, where it would normally be like $1,400 a month.
Yes, and it was 20,000 instead of 40 something before, or was it 26, 28, something like that?
It was way more than what you guys were paying, so it was a good deal.
And the big difference is that they have a generator, so that's a big difference.
Because in GL, it's a big luxury to have electricity on most of the time, because many times
it's an island, it's
not on most of the, many times it fails. Yes.
Yeah, in Manila it never happens. Blackout, no. It's like being here, but the electricity in Manila is so
tale. She was always telling me a tale of woe about brown out and
In the Airbnb,
yeah, in the Airbnb. Brown out. It's been out for hours. It's getting hot and stifling. The water's off, right? So the water would turn off.
So we would go in restaurants and be there so we could use the, bathroom, just to pee or...
What they're experiencing in Texas over the last few days is normal in the outer islands of the Philippines.
Of course, no one died. My God, no one died.
Yeah, because it's not freezing cold in the Philippines. But the other things, no water, no electricity. Yeah.
Really, this is why me, who has lived in Denmark, Sweden, the States, I'm like, since I don't think like a pure Filipino, I'm thinking, why are Filipinos usually happy? Because when I think as an American, Swedish or Danish, they should all go crazy by now. But yeah, the sun, the food, God,
They're focused on more basic things and more important things. So instead of complaining about everything in the Philippines, they have a really good attitude, I would say, yes?
Except the city people, especially Manila people, or those in the dorm who are rich, they're snobs, oh my God.
Yeah. But out in the provinces and the islands,
smaller cities, smaller towns, I prefer them.
So now you guys are in the romantic beach villa resort, and what kind of things were you able to do there?
Swimming pool, infinity swimming pool, in front of the beach. My God.
It's beautiful.
It's so... I want to go. We should go back. I told Michael, we have to go back.
I want to visit the Philippines with Joanne someday.
Especially Palawan.
Yeah. So we will go in the future, when it's a good time to try, when all this COVID nonsense has gone away.
I don't want to go back.
Yeah.
Why the COVID? Even if someone would pay me, I will never go. And I missed Mike.
She had to get another COVID test to fly back here, of course. So they started.
I did 3. Because the second one was to go back to Manila. And then before coming here, Maria and I had to do, Maria had done 2, I had done 2. My second was just break test.
Yeah, it was very difficult to arrange her travel back when we were going to do it sooner, like back in December. They had stopped all of the flights and everything. You couldn't fly. It was almost impossible to get around in the Philippines. So it started to open up a little bit just before she came, and was able to come back. But it was still dicey, like, are they going to cancel flights?
They did cancel, remember?
Yeah.
Like in December, we didn't even know if we would be able to go to Manila. And I told Maria, what if we can't go to the States? Because they kept on canceling the flights.
Yeah, they stopped doing the flights altogether for a while. Yeah, so, okay, so you spent like 2 months about 2 months, right? At the
and I lost
romantic
weight.
beach.
But
yeah, she was super exercising. So
Resort. It is here. Hi, dog. Wow, Mama. Why you laugh? This thing. I just bringing me in.
I lost in total 23 pounds just by exercising, not reducing food, and eating high protein, high fiber. But I eat everything. But
she would send me clips of her swimming and the area, and it's really beautiful because you've got this swimming pool sitting right in front of the beach and the ocean, like what you see in those, resort video clips and things. But they got to do it on the cheap, which made it really nice.
And free kayak 1 hour every day.
Kayaks there, yeah.
food, we were given 35% discount.
Because the restaurant, they had a restaurant, yeah.
They have a chef.
But it's cheap there. It's not like here where you're paying $40 for a meal.
No.
For two, it's more like $5 for two, right, or something. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
So.
And sometimes just $1.
Yeah. So.
$1 meal.
They had a really good kind of like a vacation.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. Even though it was COVID, the food was, and we had kitchen, bathroom. The second resort house was like a villa, something smaller kitchen, but we were able to cook smaller fridge, but yeah, still it was like just one half of the Airbnb.
And then once again, you guys adopted a pet.
Yes.
That came around and
Cat.
made friends with them.
Miso.
Yeah. Miso. His last name is Honey. But, yeah. Anyway.
It's
This is our new baby.
Can you come here so I can wash your slippers?
Look at his paw.
a guy, and Michael said male cats are more loving. Oh my god, it would do like that. And I don't like cats, but I couldn't resist. He is as cute as Garfield, guys. Very pretty.
And he looked like Garfield by the time they got done feeding him. Because they spoiled that kitty.
Yeah.
He was getting all the leftover porky and
He
chicken.
was a very good hunter. So we were with him like 2 months, right? And one time he brought a dead mouse or rat. Is that the rat?
Small,
A small.
big mouse or small rat.
And he left the heart and then the tail. And I'm not sure so I cleaned it and then I reprimanded him and I said, go away. I took the hose and shoved him away. So we didn't feed him for 2 days. So he would learn.
But that was his gift to you, you know.
I know, I knew that, but it's dangerous, rat. That's not good. So, but after 2 days, I told him, okay, no more gifts. But then after 1 week, he came with a crow, but just feathers.
In the Philippines, guys, you have to get used to varmints because you just can't keep them out. It's like,
You can keep them out if you have aircon and then
but I mean, like,
no cracks.
it's a continuous battle with
Outside.
spiders
Oh, spiders.
and stuff like. And I don't mean little spiders. I mean like spiders the size of my hand. You know.
Yes, I filmed it
Yeah.
for Michael, so he would see.
showed me, yeah.
I killed like this big spider.
Yeah.
I killed it, so I said, this is my hand and this is the spider.
Yeah.
I killed it with a long brush in the
I
bathroom
hate spiders.
and sprayed it and then put vinegar because Maria was so afraid.
She hates snakes and I hate spiders. I don't mind snakes. But,
Don't like snakes.
and what do you call the little lizards that talk?
Tuko.
Tuko.
And they say tuko, tuko, tuko. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, they talk. So that's why they named them that.
Tuko.
Yeah. And it's sort of like in Hawaii, if you've ever been there and seen geckos.
Yeah.
These are like that. They can hang on the ceiling and stuff, right? So,
And they're green too.
yeah.
Green.
Yeah, so let's see, what else did you do at that resort? You guys went to the beach a lot and things like that.
We vlogged a
Did
lot.
a lot of vlogs, yeah. Sometime you would go to GL and wait around there, things like that.
Because this place where we were is among the rich, among white people, because more tourist area, and GL is more almost like a city. So
See, the strange thing, if you don't know much about the Philippines, okay, here in the States, if you're Caucasian, you're obsessed with wanting to get a tan, right? And because you think that looks a lot better. But in the Philippines, where everyone has beautiful skin tone like Joanne here, they're all obsessed with being more white. It's so bizarre. It's like they never think they're white enough. Like, oh, I've gotten so dark. They're always upset about it. I'm so dark now. I'm
tan.
I'm so tan. They have a word I won't say.
Compared to you.
Yeah, but see, I would love to be more dark, and she wants to be more light, so it's weird, but
I don't really, maybe when I was younger, but now I don't want to be darker than this.
almost all Filipino women want to be lighter, and I can't figure that out because, you know, they look great, but anyway, so then, when it came time, they wanted a longer term place where Maria could be, because she came back with Joanne to stay. She can stay in the States for just 3 months on tourist visa.
Twice a year.
Twice a year, so she's here now, but before that, they were looking for a place she could be in the Philippines that would be safe.
In GL, I wanted her, but she doesn't like GL, and she would rather be in Manila. So she told me, Mama, I would rather be in Manila. So she looked for, and then she found the dorm in Manila that is owned by the richest man in the Philippines, and he's a billionaire, among the richest man or richest person in the world. Like he's top something, I don't remember, 57 or something. So it has amenities to die for, like infinity pool, gym, CCTV, security, 24/7, and a canteen up in the penthouse. So I don't need to worry, Maria won't starve because you can cook in the room, but not really, just with a micro.
And it's a good deal. It's in a nice neighborhood, one of the best neighborhoods. What do you call that city? Makati, which is one of the best areas of
Makati is where the rich live.
Yeah, and it's only like $300 a month for these dorms.
For the actual dorm.
So this clever, rich developer has built several of these big high-rise dorms, and he's renting out the rooms to students and young professionals and things for, like $300 a month. So
he's the owner of SM Mall. Harry, what's his name? Harry something.
So when she goes back, anyway, she'll be able to have a place to stay. But meanwhile, the two of you went there and spent the last couple months. What was it like there for you?
The actual dorm is so tiny. It's as tiny as our tiny. It's what is it? 100.
It's like a studio. So it's got a little bathroom,
square meter.
and it's got a little counter with, you can have a micro and a few other things, but it's very small. So
in square feet, is it 100 square feet?
Like 120, yeah.
No, 100. I don't think more, because it's 10 square meters, and it's like 101 square feet.
Yeah, which
that's
is
our room.
Very, very small. So they had to both live in this little dorm.
Yeah. She has her own bathroom, micro fridge, a big bed, queen bed, and then cabinets. In other dorms, in other rooms, they share 4 bunk beds, the same bathroom, the same. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah. So, but she doesn't want to do of course, the sharing thing, especially in such a small.
I mean that can be dangerous.
Yeah. No, we don't want. So it's a good place. It's safe. It's secure. It's card entry. People can't just walk in there.
It's almost like the owner wanted it to be like a hotel, but small, almost like micro hotels, or what do you call that?
Yeah.
Micro, tiny, tiny dorms.
And they have several of these, and each has a different theme.
Yes.
So you guys were in the one that's
New
called
York. My town, New York
My
City.
Town, New York, yeah.
So it looks like New York, you know, the building.
New York
and
theme.
the inside, yes.
Yeah.
I love the canteen. My God, the food is just yummy. But if you're having, you know, of course it's fatty foods, and I can't eat fatty foods. So, but if you don't have problems with gallbladder, or if you have a gallbladder like Maria, then it's okay.
She doesn't have a gallbladder, so she has to really watch the fatty.
Fatty.
When she was in Sweden, taking advantage of that great socialized medicine they have there, they decided to accidentally take her gallbladder out when they lied to her and said, "Oh,
yes.
you just have a gallbladder stone we need to remove." But then she woke
Yes.
up and they said she was surprised to find out part of her body was missing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I could have sued them, but you don't do that
Yeah.
in Sweden.
Yeah.
But you know, I would be able to pay an operation like that. I already ate it.
This makes some good sounds, guys. Do you like the sound? Wait. Ear to ear. Here we go. Oh, that's a little bit too loud. I gotta be softer with it.
Be careful.
There. Okay, so. Alright, so you guys spent, and so you're, because it's a small dorm, what you want to do is spend a lot of time outside the dorm. So they would exercise in the
I
gym.
went to the gym 4
Yeah.
hours a day.
Yeah.
3 to 4 hours. Treadmill, rowing machine. I love the rowing machine. Even though you don't really burn so much calories there. And then, of course, spinning bike. And it's the same brand as you would see here in the States. Like Concept 2, you know. It's really good gym. The floor is, you know, you can jump rope without getting hurt. Jumping ropes, weights, you know, things like that. And of course, you have your window is glass window, and you can see the infinity pool and the city skyscrapers.
The pool was interesting. She showed me videos of all that. She would send me video clips every day, and we would talk a couple times a day on FaceTime. So it's like being there almost. So we stayed very well connected while she was there. But they were showing me the pool, and it's glass on the side, so you could see someone swimming underwater. Oh, there's a big fish under there.
My kids spoiled us.
Yeah, they spoiled it. And so then for entertainment, I guess the Philippines has like the best malls on earth. So tell them about the mall. People go to the mall.
I've seen it before, of course, but you know, after being in the States for 3.5 hours before, like last year, I was like, oh my God, I felt like a farmer. And, 6, 8 floors, you can buy everything, no wet markets. And oh my God, the foods, all American restaurants were there, like Tim Hortons, McDonald's, of course, Burger King, and also
but fancy steakhouses and stuff too.
What's the name of the steakhouse?
I can't remember.
And my God, we didn't go in the steakhouse because it was like 900 pesos. Or no, 1,600 for a meal. Oh my God.
Yeah. So it's weird because when they're on the island, there's nothing, and then you go to Manila and you've got the world's biggest mall, and it's really fancy. How many stories in that?
6, 8 stories.
Yeah.
And when we came, so I lost 20 kilos when we came, and then I gained like 5 kilos after the first week. So we stopped going too much.
They were eating a little too yummy of the food. They would send me video clips.
And I would get heartburn.
Yeah, they were doing some videos with yummy stuff like donuts and all that. But
And then the canteen opened, and I thought, oh, thank God, because in the canteen it's yummy, but they give you like, here they say 14 inches. The plate, that was not even 5-inch plates we got, or Tupperwares.
Yeah, a serving in the Philippines is about a third the size as a serving here. So
Yeah.
if you're used to getting a pizza and it's this big, okay, there it's going to be that big. Okay, so
It's like
yeah.
that's part of the reason I lost weight so fast, because even in Surigao, especially in small towns, they will give you small plates, and that is why you have to look to find overweight people there. I didn't see an obese person until we went to Manila in the mall. I could see an obese person, but it was a white person
But
with lots of money.
but the food is really cheap if you
Yes.
go to the. It's much less to eat there than it is here. So
Yeah.
for the most part, unless you're going to one of those upscale restaurants in the mall, but
So expensive.
the regular ones are not.
If you're an American, you won't miss any restaurant in Manila. And it's a little bit cheaper compared to the States.
Yes.
Or a lot cheaper. But you know, if you have pesos, then it's very expensive. I mean, I had dollars, of course, but I didn't want to waste it. Eating steak, my God.
But Joanne loves to cook, so it was difficult. It was difficult, right? Being
Because,
a place where you had no cooking.
yeah, because I could only use the microwave. And I don't want to use we didn't have a sink where we had the microwave, so only in the bathroom. I didn't want to do that. So what I did was I became friends with the chefs, and then I would say, are you going to cook this? Are you going to cook that? So that's how I got my food.
So they were eventually. Oh, and talk about some of the natural. Okay, they had earthquakes there while
Oh
she
my
was
God.
there, like several, and a typhoon.
It was, what was that? The last one? 8 point something.
Yeah, that wasn't not real close to where they were, but they felt.
I
right?
felt it. Maria didn't feel it, and I said, go check. And she checked. I could feel it.
It was a big earthquake.
Yeah, she couldn't feel it. So I guess I'm just sensitive.
And there was a typhoon when you were on GLS.
My God. Like when it rains in Surigao, you think, excuse me, you think the world will, I don't know, disappear. Everything will disappear, break down, because like if you're a woman, you have your panties, it will be wet
Yeah,
with rain.
she sent me video when it was coming down hard, and I couldn't believe it.
And you can shower if you have shampoo. We showered under the while it was pouring down.
Yeah, because it's warm still.
Yeah,
so,
it's warm.
Yeah,
And it's clean. It's fresh water.
yeah. All right, so then a couple of weeks ago, you guys got ready to come back here to the States, and they got, of course, these giant, massive suitcases, but they don't fill it with their stuff that they use for travel.
Only 15%.
No, 15% of the suitcase is their clothes and things, and the rest is what?
Pasalubong, souvenirs, food.
Yeah.
So 85% of our 2 suitcases was that.
And the suitcases weighed what? 50 pounds, 60 pounds, something like that
58.
each. Okay, so
Oh, no, 58 kilos.
58 kilos.
So what's that? 230 or 130? No, 130
Are you talking
pounds.
total? Or,
Yeah, in total,
yeah,
yeah.
about-
132 pounds.
Yeah, about 65 pounds a piece. So, yeah.
But my God, in Manila, I'm not going to mention his name, but the president, oh my God, so many checkpoints in the airport, and an extra one to check if you have drugs. My God.
I believe you mentioned it took you 4 hours to get through check-in.
A 2.5 instead of a few minutes. We were standing, and the bags were so heavy. were people who were checking it. My God, I felt sorry for them.
So then finally they flew back, and they had a direct flight to the States, to SFO, San Francisco. But in San Francisco right now, you can't go out of the airport unless you have quarantine and COVID test, blah, blah, blah. But if you're connecting to a different place, that's okay. So they connected to go here.
But don't believe what you see on TV. Maria saw those that would quarantine in San Francisco. They just left.
Yeah, they're not really enforcing their rules.
They're not. They went out the streets. No one checking them.
Yeah.
No security guards like in the Philippines that they checked me. They followed me, to the hotel and everything. My God.
So you guys went through customs and immigration in San Francisco.
They harassed us. Not really, but they questioned us longer than the others.
I don't mean to be political, but you get really grilled heavily and questioned.
If you
and
come from the Philippines.
Treated like a criminal if you come from the Philippines, because the people that come from the Philippines speak really good English and they love America. And so they're considered undesirables, okay? And
they're usually educated.
Yeah, and usually educated. And so we don't want them in the U.S., so we give them all kinds of trouble with immigration. We've gone through years and years already of incredible bureaucracy for the green card. We're still getting stuff in the mail from immigration and Department of Homeland Security. You need all your inoculation records going back decades. You need, it's like, you have to go to this.
After 4 years.
You have to go to this clinic in the city and get tested. You have to do this. You have to do that. You have to fill out all these papers. You have to provide documentation for everything you've ever done. You have to provide your record. Evidence. You have to show your marriage is legitimate. We're still working on that, okay? You provide all this stuff. We showed him our YouTube channel. The guy who interviewed us in the first interview.
Don't say so much.
She doesn't want me to tell everything.
Because he's watching our videos.
But the viewers here, our subbies, want to hear it all. Anyway, what was your they're trying to trip you up to see if it's a phony sham marriage, right?
It's a pity because for Maria, for example, that we're petitioning, she loves...
What's your name again?
She loves the States, right? But every time she comes in, she becomes disappointed because they terrorize her with all these questions.
Yeah.
And one time, they detained her in a room. Oh my God. So, she's saying, I love the States, I want to live here. She wanted to kiss the ground when she came here the first time. And I told her, don't you dare do that.
So, it's sad, but I won't do any political commentary. I won't talk about whether or not we have millions of people coming with no carrying COVID with no tests and stuff like that. Drugs and crime.
They didn't check us, but
Did they check your bags?
They didn't check our bags.
Didn't they check them in the Philippines, though?
Yeah. They know that if you come from the Philippines, I was going to say that.
Yeah.
They know that because in the Philippines, they said, oh, Mom, we need to do one more checkpoint for the TSA. So that's why they didn't check us. They knew. It's for them.
Because you already get cleared there on that end, yeah.
But when we were in the plane, they still told us that they might still ask for our COVID test, but they didn't.
Yeah. Well, they know that you were checked by PAL Airlines.
Yeah.
Because you have to prove it when you check in that you have the COVID test.
But they told us, even though they did, and they know, they would maybe still ask us, but they weren't really interested in me so much, in Maria. And they ask, so maybe she will have a boyfriend. And they said, no.
Because they think she's coming to marry someone so she can stay here.
Okay, let's not talk
Anyway,
anymore.
so then they catch their flight to Portland, and luckily, see, I didn't allow, there was only one flight they could get after their Manila flight that would come to Portland. It was later in the evening, but only an hour and a half between those flights.
Oh my god, that was scary.
And
Babe, don't do that again.
But it was the only flight that would go to Portland. So I thought, oh, will they really be able to make it? Well, it took them really 3 hours or so, but to get through everything, customs and immigration and all of that. But luckily, their flight from Manila landed a couple hours early.
Oh yeah.
So they just barely made it for time to check in and boarding and everything, only because their flight was so early landing.
Oh, it's like 10 minutes only left before boarding. My god.
So they're a little stressed. Then they fly to Portland.
Yeah.
And did it feel really cold to you when you came outside?
Because, it's like 80 plus 90 in the Philippines. And then how many degrees in Portland?
Yeah,
30.
Yeah, it was 30 something because it was really cold when they were, that's when we were having the snow and ice up there. And we stayed the night because they got in so late. We stayed the night in Portland, but the next morning we had to jam out of there because this massive snow and ice storm was coming. And if we would have stayed 3 or 4 hours longer, we'd have been stuck in Portland.
Blizzard.
Because a blizzard was coming. That was a week and a half ago, roughly, almost
10 days.
10 days ago. So, and the roads and everything got shut down in Portland.
11, I mean.
The road going east, Highway 84, whatever that is, going up the Columbia Gorge, got closed, and lots of the roads around Portland went wrecks and impassable and all ice, because it rained and then all that turned into ice, right? So, and lots of snow. But we just barely made it out of Portland and got back to our warmer climate down here.
After getting VooDoo donuts and Chipotle.
Yes. You can go to Joanne's channel if you want to see the mukbang she made with VooDoo donuts.
scorpioAnnYT.
That's scorpioAnnYT, which once again I'll try to remember to write it down on the bottom of the screen. And so then you've been here and you've been struggling with jet lag, yes?
Yeah, but last night, finally, I was able to sleep the whole night for 7 hours.
Yeah, finally last night, the first normal night sleep, because what she was doing was going to bed, sleeping for a couple hours, and then getting up. And
At 5:30.
At 5:30
Or
a.m.
2:30.
Yeah, we were going to bed really late, and then she would get up really early, 2 or 3 hours of sleep, right? And then I'd be over on the couch on my computer, my laptop, and she would come over and lay down next to me, and the next thing I knew, I would hear snoring, gentle snoring.
Lunchtime, you mean?
But, yeah.
Lunchtime.
At lunchtime, and then in like 3 hours later, she'd still be asleep. And so then she couldn't get to sleep at night, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why I was sleeping that lunchtime. What is it?
Well, because lunchtime is like 4 a.m. at the Philippines.
Oh, yes.
You know, so yeah. Jet lag is tougher coming this way than going that way, I think. Was it easier when you went that way?
Yes, it is much easier because you see the sun. I had a little bit of jet lag, like headache, a little bit, but you see the sun, especially in resorts, then you have to wake up. But yeah, it didn't take a long time.
Yeah, the Philippines is basically like 20 hours ahead of us, and so when you go there, you lose a day because they're way ahead of us. So it's the next day. It's 2 days later by the time you get there, even though you travel for, a day something. But when you come when they fly this way, it's like an endless, an endless day. It's the same day, even though you're traveling for 18, 20 hours, whatever, altogether. It's just a day
And
that
it's so
goes on.
cold. I think that's also one of the reasons.
Yeah.
It's so cold compared to the Philippines.
Yes. Very cold. When she left, it was hot and there were the fires going. All smoke. We could barely get up to Portland Airport because thick smoke was covering the whole Willamette Valley from the giant fires that were up in the Cascades. And it was, remember that? You could hardly breathe even in the car. But then all that went away. And so you went to a nice, clean, warm climate. And now coming back, it's freezing cold. But, yeah.
But, oh my God, Manila, I don't like Manila. I don't like cities because even in any country I've been, even though Sweden is so clean, you know, but in Stockholm, it's not as fresh, the air, as in, like, Gothenburg or something. So I don't like, I prefer, like, smaller towns, like, or smaller states, like, okay, Oregon is not small, but, you know, where nature is not a lot of
Guys, I'm gonna force her to talk soft-spoken just a little bit because I want you to tell me if you like soft-spoken from her ASMR better or whisper. So I want you to tell me what you made for dinner tonight in soft-spoken voice.
Okay, I fried chicken breast with Alfredo sauce.
Yeah, that was yummy. And what else was in it?
Oh, yesterday I cooked chickpea pasta, also in Alfredo sauce, and it's high protein, gluten free.
Yeah, it's healthier, right?
It's so filling. It still has carbs, but you won't like feel starving, like you're starving. So it's better for you if you're dieting or you want to lose weight.
And you made some yummy kind of salmon too, yeah?
It's not really salmon. It still had a fillet,
Steelhead trout.
but
Tastes like
I
salmon.
made it taste like salmon. I used this Walden Farms dressing, 0 calories, and then a little bit of garlic. I didn't tell Michael.
Yeah. It's okay if it's garlic
Just
powder.
tiny bit.
Yeah.
Tiny bit.
Yeah. So, tell me in comments if you want her to come back and do more whisper or soft-spoken collabs with me in the future.
Yeah, the difference is when I speak soft spoken, I speak slower and more calm. But when I whisper, I can be my animated self. That's why Michael prefers that. He wants me to be demure.
Well, it doesn't have to be demure.
That's how I do soft spoken.
Yeah.
I can't do it in another way.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I don't know why.
Her soft-spoken and her whisper relaxes me. Either one. But I like her to do the soft-spoken sometimes because I just like it. So, I will link one of her videos that's one of my favorites, if I can remember, in the comment or in the description, where she talks about her life. It's called Chalk My Life. And she writes on a chalkboard and talks about her life, how she grew up and what her life has been so far. So if I can remember, I'll do that. And yeah, thank you for joining me and giving this interview.
Welcome.
We'll do a collab again in the future. Meanwhile, you can check her out if you like Mukbang, which is mostly what she does, whispered Mukbang, trying different foods. You can go to scorpioAnnYT on her Yahoo channel, on her YouTube channel, and check out her videos. And so until next time, everyone, I hope this relaxed you. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. If you didn't like it, then please give it a thumbs up instead. And please click on the bell for notifications when new videos come out. And subscribe. Thanks for watching. Don't ASMR and drive.
Bye.
Do
Bye.
you love my subbies too?
Yes, I love you guys.
Alright. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.